Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So Dokkan is doing some funny little teasers here, talking about, I guess, the Part 2 LR, is what these hints are going to be. We have one on JP and we have one on Global, so this does confirm that Global indeed is going to be walking right into the same LR as JP Dokkan is for Part 2. This makes a ton of sense. This does have an unfortunate side effect of continuing to push LR Omega back on Global. Omega himself is not exciting, but he does come with the most fun fight in the game, right? Omega, which should come out for Global towards the end of January, I would assume. But then again, I mean, what if New Year's is shared too? Like, the Global schedule is beginning to turn into kind of a murky mess. We could just say that, right? Alright, so let's try and do a little theory crafting here. Now, I mean, very quick. Typically, these hints are not very tough. I mean, Legends has been doing this for a very long time now. Dokkan has started, I guess, was the first one they did Saiyan Day this year, where they kind of do, like, these little things. Like, they can be fun. This seems very obvious. I mean, many people are in here. Here's Tsunrami. We just go through a lot, and it's like, it does seem fairly obvious to me that it's these three. I was looking for, like, kind of, like, alternative potentials in here, and I didn't really see one. See, like, something like this, I do not think that this fits, like, with what they're showing right there. I don't think so. I mean, Cell is green, so, like, which one of these three colors is this going to have? I guess there's, I mean, he does sort of have the, a little purple there, I guess. I don't know. I mean, this would tie into Android 21. I mean, remember, we're literally doing the Android 21 celebration right here, right? So it's that's the other thing, is it's always been like what kind of Part 2 LR are we going to get? Certainly I would prefer if this was a villain, but I don't know. By the way, this couldn't be... So I have Android 13 pulled up here. Let me just pull him up. Wait a minute. I'm just curious. I mean, it's very likely the Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta, but I want to get a shot of 13, 14, and 15 kind of standing together. Okay, here's sort of one. Let's take a look. But this isn't... this is not... There's no way, right? Like this? Because it's like... We got, like, basically green, and yellow kind of, like, together right there. Like, that's not... I don't think so. But it would be... Damn, like, Dokkan, they're doing anything they can to avoid releasing villain characters, right? Like, could you imagine? Like, we're really gonna do this. We're gonna go from Android 21 directly into these three. We have seen these three, by the way. I've seen several points where people have kind of floated the idea that these guys would show up as like some sort of like Dokkan Fest LR or Carnival LR over the last several time slots. I do think that, you know, they've certainly been on the table. Now, we can also point out that Android 13 is coming up on an EZA, by the way. Wait, is this him right here? Yeah, I already got it pulled up. This Android 13, he's now one of the older Dokkan Festival exclusive characters that has not actually gotten his EZA. But keep in mind that this LR right here is not going to come with an EZA. Nearly every celebration, I do see people kind of being like, oh, like I swear I've seen Kefla in this scenario floated out like 50 times. But the only time where they'll actually like pepper like a bunch of big time EZAs like this during a month is during the big celebrations, right? So it's like if we go into anniversary or we're doing worldwide or something like that, it's like, yeah, like every 2 weeks they drop like a Dokkan Fest EZA character. But just kind of these monthly celebrations, they don't really do that. So I wouldn't expect this guy to EZA, you know, if it is indeed the LR, Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta that it does seem to be. But this guy right here, by the way, would be a very nice asset to some of these villain teams that we kind of got hanging around. I mean, you look at some of those categories, he could be good. I remember I mentioned this, that he could potentially show up with Android 21, but obviously it was the LR 16, 17, and 18, right? And people said, oh, well, Target Goku is so important. I mean, not really. I mean, I guess if we're going to fight Omega, Target Goku would be important for this portion of his passive, but I mean, this is much more of an Android character with his Android support. This guy would help probably more so potentially in like the Dismal Future Red Zone than the Omega fight. Well, I mean, it would depend, right, on what this guy's buffs would look like, but obviously these characters, I mean, look how minimal this guy's passive is. This is essentially his passive. Right? You know, back in November of 2019, characters, he's doing 3 things. 130% attack and defense, Android category support, and then guaranteed to hit attacks. Craziness, right? Now, another thing I should point out is this right here. So, Dragon Ball Heroes this year, I mean, I said that it's celebrating its 13th anniversary, and, you know, kind of like this year, 13th year or whatever. And Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta, that's what they used as kind of like the anniversary logo. And, I mean, if we would take it a step further, I guess I could just quickly click here and we could go back. Let's just head to the news and then, I don't know, maybe like 5 pages back or something like that. I just want to show, yeah, dude, look, you guys can see it, right? It's right there, bam. Like the little logo is all over the hero stuff because it's the 13th anniversary of the Heroes characters. So that's why, like, I do really think that it really is going to be these guys. Like this is going to be what the hint is. I don't think that they're really trying to be that like super clever. Like, oh, it's actually like this craziness or something like that. So now at this point, we can move on to the hilarity. Remember last year's Carnival LR? Again, this was the Carnival LR that dropped last year. This Goku right here, December 15th, as you guys can see, that's the time slot we're moving into. And despite the fact that this guy, in all of the attacks, it's, you know, Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, and Piccolo, the character is just called Super Saiyan Goku. So, what do you guys think? What are the chances, dude? I can't. It would be funny. I mean, Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta, what categories would just the trio of them have? They would have Super Saiyan, they'd have movie heroes, they'd have joined forces. I'm just trying to think of what else like they might share. I mean, you never know what they could implement into the card. It being a Carnival LR, I mean, we certainly could see like some sort of, you know, active skill or standby, like maybe with the Spirit Bomb absorbed Goku doing an attack or something like that. Very much could be a thing that they potentially could do here. So we'll see. I do not want just Super Saiyan Goku. I feel like the reason they did this last year was to get this character on much more teams, right? Because this combination of characters, you know, they wouldn't be on Pure Saiyan, they wouldn't be on Goku Family, they wouldn't probably be on, like, Battle of Wits. Like, you would remove a lot of these teams. They wouldn't be on Bond of Parent and Child, they wouldn't be on Earthbred Fighters. Like, nearly every single team this character's on, they wouldn't have been on, right? So, like, that's, I think, the reason they did that. I would not mind if this ended up being like a Vegeta or a Trunks instead, because we do need like buffs like that. I think Trunks could be pretty cool, like a Super Saiyan Trunks that also has Goku and Vegeta with it or something. I mean, we'll see. But Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Super Saiyan Trunks, that would be a new named character. We obviously do not have one of those yet, so that'll be interesting to see. Keep in mind too that we're gonna be moving in on a dual Dokkan Fest in, well, I guess about 2.5 weeks. I mean, it should be sometime within this time frame right here. We'll be getting a dual Dokkan Fest. I don't know if it's LRs or TURs, and we don't at the moment know if it's shared on Global NJP or not. It's very, very hard to tell, like how they're moving forward with Global. It doesn't right now, like, to me, it doesn't actually feel like they're closing the gap. It's just like they're just like extending it. Like, we're gonna have to get to a point where they're actually gonna have to start crunching stuff into Global, and they still have not reached that point. Because remember, Global doesn't have Super Trunks yet. Super Trunks came out in July. It's a character from July, man. Like, it's not exactly fresh. So it's like Global. I mean, if we're gonna get this sync, you know, kicking in here, like, we're gonna have to start hammering some content in the Global. We'll see how things are gonna go. Let me know what you guys think. Like, do you guys think it's just, you know, the Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta? It's actually very dangerous for me to just be scrolling through Twitter. I'm a silly guy. I would say I do think that this is what it is, though. Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks. I mean, the fact that there's so much like art where it's literally in like the same order, right? Like it's so obvious. So I feel like I'm okay with this being the part 2 LR. I would eventually like some villain characters to show up, but we'll see what Dokkan's gonna do. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch y'all next time.